Officer Miguel Santos had been on the job for just 3 months when he made the biggest mistake of his career. It was a routine traffic stop on a Tuesday night in Hawthorne, California. Expired registration, no ID, a disheveled driver who couldn't explain himself. Miguel did everything by the book. He asked questions, ran the plates, assessed the situation. Then he put the handcuffs on. Click, click. The man didn't resist. He just sighed and said, "This is going to be quite the story." Miguel had no idea how right he was, because the tired man in the beat-up Honda Civic wasn't a confused stranger or a potential threat. He was Elon Musk, one of the richest men in the world, the founder of SpaceX and Tesla, a man who was literally trying to put humans on Mars, and Miguel had just arrested him. What happened next would change Miguel's life and his family's future in ways he never imagined possible. But first, he had to survive the most embarrassing moment of his entire life. It started with a simple traffic stop. Officer Miguel Santos gripped the steering wheel of his patrol car with sweaty palms. His heart thumped against his chest like a drum. 3 months. He had been a real police officer for only 3 months. Tonight, he was alone. His training officer, Ray Martinez, had called in sick with the flu. The sergeant asked Miguel if he felt ready to patrol solo. Miguel said yes, even though his stomach felt full of butterflies. A good cop doesn't show fear. A good cop steps up when needed. That's what his academy instructor always said. Miguel drove slowly down Jack Northrop Avenue in Hawthorne, California. It was almost 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night in September 2023. The streetlights made orange pools on the dark road. To his right, he could see the big SpaceX building. Its windows glowed with light. People were still working inside, building rockets that would fly to space. Miguel had lived in Hawthorne his whole life, but he never imagined working here as a police officer. He grew up in South Los Angeles in a small apartment where you could hear your neighbors through the walls. His mom, Maria, cleaned houses for rich people in Manhattan Beach. His little sister, Sophia, was 11 years old and had cerebral palsy. She used a wheelchair to get around. Money was always tight, very tight. Becoming a cop meant steady pay. It meant health insurance for Sophia. It meant Miguel could help his mom, who worked so hard her hands were always red and rough. But first, he had to be a good cop. He had to prove himself. Miguel's radio crackled. He listened to other officers calling in their locations, reporting traffic stops, asking for backup on small incidents. Normal night stuff. His fingers drummed on the wheel. Then he saw it. Silver Honda Civic passed him going the opposite direction. Something made Miguel look twice. The car was old, kind of beat up. One taillight was dimmer than the other, and the registration sticker on the license plate looked wrong, faded, maybe expired. Miguel's training kicked in. Traffic violations might seem small, but they could lead to bigger discoveries. Stolen cars, drunk drivers, warrants for arrest. Officer Martinez always said, "Trust your gut, Santos. If something feels off, check it out." Miguel flipped on his lights and sirens. He made a U-turn and followed the Honda. The car didn't pull over right away. It kept going for another block, slow and wandering, like the driver wasn't paying attention. Miguel felt his anxiety rise. Was the driver going to run? His hand moved toward his radio, ready to call for backup. Finally, the Honda pulled into a gas station parking lot and stopped under a bright light. Miguel took a deep breath. He ran the license plate through his computer. The system was slow tonight. The little spinning wheel on the screen went round and round. Come on, he thought. Finally, the result popped up. Registration expired 4 months ago. Registered to a business, not a person. SpaceX Corporation. Okay, that was weird, but not too weird. Maybe an employee borrowed a company car and forgot to update the tags. Miguel grabbed his flashlight and stepped out of his patrol car. The September air was warm and smelled like gasoline and French fries from a nearby burger place. His legs felt shaky. He had done dozens of traffic stops during training, but this was different. This time, Officer Martinez wasn't sitting in the passenger seat, ready to jump in if things went wrong. This time, Miguel was on his own. He approached the driver's side window, keeping his flashlight pointed down. "Good evening, sir. I'm Officer Santos with the Hawthorne Police Department. I stopped you because your registration is expired. Can I see your license and registration, please?" The driver turned to look at him. Miguel's first thought was that this guy looked exhausted. Really, really exhausted. His hair stuck up in weird directions, like he had been running his hands through it for hours. He wore a wrinkled black t-shirt with the words "Don't Panic" written on it, some kind of book reference Miguel didn't recognize. His eyes were red and tired with dark circles underneath. The man blinked slowly like he was having trouble focusing. "Oh, right. Sorry, officer. What did you say?" "License and registration, please," Miguel repeated. His hand moved closer to his belt where his pepper spray hung. Something felt off about this guy. "License, right." The man patted his pockets. Then he opened the center console and started digging through papers. Fast food napkins fell out. Receipts scattered everywhere. I think I left my wallet at the office. I was working and I needed to get home and I grabbed the wrong car from the lot." He was rambling. His words came out fast and jumbled like his brain was going too fast for his mouth. Red flag. Miguel's training screamed at him. No license, confused behavior, rambling speech. Story doesn't make sense. "Sir, what's your name?" Miguel asked, shining his flashlight into the car. The back seat was filled with strange metal parts, wires, and what looked like pieces of a circuit board. Tools were scattered across the floor. Papers covered with drawings and equations were stuffed in the door pockets. "Elon," the man said. He rubbed his face with both hands. "My name is Elon." "Elon what? What's your last name?" "Musk, Elon Musk." Miguel almost laughed. Was this guy serious? Elon Musk was one of the richest men in the world. He ran Tesla and SpaceX. He was on the news all the time. This tired guy in a beat-up Honda with crazy hair and no ID was not Elon Musk. "Sir, I need to see identification," Miguel said firmly. "Do you have anything with your name on it? Credit card, work badge?" The man, Elon, or whatever his real name was, looked through the glove box. More papers, a phone charger, an old energy bar wrapper. No wallet, no ID, nothing. "I was at the factory," the man said. His voice sounded stressed now. "Working on the heat shield problem for Starship. The tiles keep cracking during re-entry simulations and we can't figure out why. I've been there for..." He paused, looking confused. "What day is it?" "It's Tuesday, sir." "Tuesday?" The man laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. "I went in Monday morning, so that's 30-something hours. The team needed me and I couldn't leave until we made progress," and he stopped himself. "Look, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm coming from SpaceX right there." He pointed back toward the big building. "I can call someone to verify. I grabbed the wrong car keys. This is one of the pool cars we keep for engineers who need to run errands." I wasn't thinking clearly. Miguel studied him carefully. The story was elaborate, too elaborate, and the man's behavior was strange. He kept mumbling to himself between sentences like he was still thinking about work problems. His hands shook slightly when he tried to organize the papers. Mental health crisis, drugs, something worse. Miguel made a decision. "Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle, please." "What, why?" "Just step out of the car, sir, slowly." The man sighed deeply but obeyed. He opened the door and climbed out. He was tall, over 6 feet, and very thin. His jeans had oil stains on them. His sneakers were old and worn out. He definitely didn't look like a billionaire. "Sir, have you taken any drugs or alcohol tonight?" No, I don't. I barely eat when I'm working, let alone drink." "Officer, I know this looks bad, but if you just let me call." "Turn around and put your hands on the car, please." "You're arresting me." Miguel's heart pounded so hard he thought it might explode, but he kept his voice steady. "Sir, you're driving without a license, in a vehicle with expired registration, and you can't prove your identity. I need to take you to the station until we can sort this out." The man turned around and placed his hands on the Honda's roof. He didn't resist, he just looked tired and sad. "This is going to be quite the story," he said quietly. Miguel pulled out his handcuffs. His hands shook as he put them on the man's wrists. Click, click. The sound seemed too loud in the quiet parking lot. He had just made his first solo arrest. "Watch your head," Miguel said, guiding the man into the back seat of his patrol car. The man sat down without complaint, staring straight ahead. Miguel walked back to the Honda and looked inside one more time with his flashlight. Those metal parts in the back seat really did look like rocket components. The papers were covered in complicated math and diagrams of spacecraft. But that didn't mean anything. Anyone could print stuff from the internet. Anyone could claim to be someone famous. Miguel got back in his patrol car. He picked up his radio and pressed the button. "Unit 7 Atom 12 to dispatch." Go ahead, 7 Adam 12. I've got a male adult in custody. Traffic stop turned into an arrest for driving without a license and failure to provide identification. Bringing him to the station now. Copy that, 7 Adam 12. See you shortly. Miguel started driving. In his rearview mirror, he could see his passenger sitting quietly in the back seat. The man's eyes were closed. His lips moved slightly, like he was still thinking through problems in his head. So, Miguel said, trying to fill the awkward silence, do you really work at SpaceX? The man opened his eyes. Yes. What do you do there? A long pause, then, I try to make humanity a multiplanetary species. I try to ensure we don't put all our eggs in one basket. Earth is wonderful, but asteroids happen. Climate change happens. We need a backup plan. Mars is that backup plan. The way he said it, so serious, so passionate, made Miguel uncomfortable. This guy really believed what he was saying. Was he mentally ill? Some people had delusions about saving the world. That's interesting, Miguel said carefully. Do you like your job, Officer Santos? The man had read Miguel's name tag. Yes, sir, I do. Why did you become a police officer? Miguel wasn't sure he should answer. This was weird, having a conversation with someone he just arrested, but the man sounded genuinely curious, not angry. I grew up in South LA, Miguel said. Saw a lot of crime, a lot of people hurting each other. I wanted to help. I wanted to make things better. Noble reason. The man was quiet for a moment. Does it pay well? That was a personal question, but Miguel found himself answering anyway. Not really, but it's steady, and we get benefits, health insurance. That's important for my family. You have a family. My mom and my little sister, Sophia, she's 11. Tell me about Sophia. Miguel glanced in the rearview mirror. The man was leaning forward slightly, listening with complete focus. It was strange. Most people Miguel arrested either stayed silent or yelled at him. This guy wanted to have a conversation. Sophia has cerebral palsy, Miguel said. She's in a wheelchair, but she's really smart. She loves science, loves space actually. She watches videos about Mars on our old laptop, dreams about being an astronomer someday. Mars, the man repeated softly. It's fascinating, isn't it, the red planet? Once, billions of years ago, it had water, rivers and lakes, maybe even an ocean. We could bring it back to life, you know, terraform it, make it green again. It would take centuries, but we could do it. Miguel didn't know what to say to that. The man talked about Mars like other people talked about gardening or home repairs, like it was actually possible. They drove through the quiet streets of Hawthorne. Most businesses were closed. A few people walked on the sidewalks. Miguel's radio crackled with other officers' voices. Does Sophia have what she needs? The man asked suddenly. For her condition. Miguel felt a tightness in his chest. We manage. My mom works really hard. 3 different houses she cleans. I work extra shifts when I can. Sophia's medical bills they're a lot. Insurance doesn't cover everything. We've been saving for a better wheelchair, one that's electric so she can move around easier. And she wants a telescope so bad, but those are expensive. How expensive? The one she wants is like $2,000. Might as well be $2 million for us. Anne was quiet again. They pulled into the Hawthorne police station parking lot. The building was small and plain with bright lights over the entrance. Miguel parked and turned off the engine. His stomach felt tight. He had to bring this guy inside, process him, call a supervisor. This was really happening. His first solo arrest. He got out and opened the back door. The man climbed out carefully, hands still cuffed behind his back. As they walked toward the station entrance, another officer was coming out. Officer Linda Chen, a veteran with 15 years on the force. She was looking down at her phone, not paying attention. Then she looked up. She stopped dead in her tracks. Her eyes went huge. Her mouth fell open. She stared at Miguel's prisoner. Then she stared at Miguel. Is that, she whispered. Is that, Linda Chen couldn't finish her sentence. Miguel felt confused. Is that what, Officer Chen? Linda walked closer, squinting at the man in handcuffs. Her hand covered her mouth. Miguel, do you know who you just arrested? He says his name is Elon Musk, but he has no ID in. Because it is Elon Musk, Linda pulled out her phone with shaking hands. She typed quickly, then turned the screen toward Miguel. Miguel looked at the image. It was a news article from yesterday. Elon Musk working around the clock on Starship heat shield problem. The photo showed a man standing in front of a huge rocket. Same messy hair, same tired eyes, same thin face. The same man standing right next to Miguel in handcuffs. Miguel's stomach dropped to his feet. His vision went blurry around the edges. No, 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 this couldn't be happening. Oh no, Miguel whispered. Oh no, oh no, oh no. The world seemed to tilt sideways. He had just arrested one of the richest, most famous people on Earth. He had put handcuffs on a billionaire, on the CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, on someone who was literally trying to put humans on Mars. His career was over, completely over. He would be fired, maybe sued, definitely famous for all the wrong reasons. His face would be on the news. Rookie cop makes biggest mistake ever. I didn't know, Miguel stammered. He didn't have ID and he was acting strange and... It's fine, Elon said calmly. He didn't sound angry at all. Officer Santos was doing his job. I really didn't have my wallet, and I probably did look suspicious. But it wasn't fine. Nothing about this was fine. Linda was already on her radio. We need Sergeant Rivera and Captain Walsh down at the front entrance immediately. We have a situation. Within 2 minutes, the parking lot filled with people. Sergeant Carlos Rivera came running out, his face bright red. Captain Walsh, the head of the whole department, rushed out, still putting on his jacket. Other officers poured out of the building, staring and whispering. Miguel wanted to disappear. He wanted the ground to open up and swallow him whole. His face burned with shame. His hands trembled so badly he could barely stand still. Get those cuffs off him right now, Captain Walsh shouted. Miguel fumbled with his keys. His fingers wouldn't work properly. It took 3 tries to unlock the handcuffs. When they finally clicked open, Elon rubbed his wrists and stretched his arms. Mr. Musk, I cannot apologize enough, Captain Walsh said. His voice was loud and desperate. This officer is brand new and clearly used extremely poor judgment. We will deal with this situation immediately. If there's anything at all, that our department can do to make this right. Captain, Elon interrupted. It's really okay. Look at it from Officer Santos's perspective. A tired guy with no ID, driving a car with expired tags, rambling about rockets. I would have stopped me too. But Captain Walsh wasn't listening. He was already thinking about lawsuits and news reporters and how this would make the department look terrible. We'll provide a full written apology. We'll drive you anywhere you need to go. I've been at the SpaceX factory for over 30 hours, Elon said, working on a heat shield problem that's been driving me crazy. The plasma temperature during re-entry is melting our tiles faster than our models predicted. We need a better bonding agent, maybe something with a higher silicon content, but that changes the weight distribution. And he stopped and shook his head. Sorry, when I get focused on a problem, I forget about everything else. Food, sleep, time. I grabbed a set of car keys from the engineering pool without thinking. That Honda probably hasn't had its registration renewed because it's scheduled for retirement next month. My mistake, not Officer Santos's. Miguel couldn't speak. His throat felt tight, tears pushed at the back of his eyes, but he couldn't cry. Not here, not in front of everyone. Several officers were taking pictures with their phones. Sergeant Rivera was already on his cell, probably calling his wife to tell her about the crazy thing that just happened. Everyone was talking at once, their voices mixing into a loud buzz. Can we go inside? Elon asked. I could really use some water. They moved into the station. The booking area was small and plain with white walls and harsh fluorescent lights. The desk sergeant's computer hummed in the corner. Wanted posters hung on a bulletin board. Elon sat down in a plastic chair. Someone brought him water. He drank the whole cup in 3 long gulps. Captain Walsh was still talking, apologizing over and over. Miguel stood against the wall, wishing he could become invisible. Then Elon looked directly at him. Officer Santos, can you give me a ride back to SpaceX? I'd like to talk to you. The room went silent. What? Miguel's voice came out as a squeak. A ride back to the factory, just you and me. Captain Walsh jumped in. Oh no, Mr. Musk, I'll drive you myself. Officer Santos has done enough damage tonight. With respect, Captain, I'm asking for Officer Santos. Elon's voice was polite but firm. He stopped me legally for a legitimate reason. He followed his training. I want to talk to him about that. Captain Walsh looked like he wanted to argue, but what could he say? You couldn't really tell a billionaire no when he made a simple request. Fine, the captain said tightly. Santos, take Mr. Musk wherever he wants to go, and try not to arrest anyone else important tonight. 5 minutes later, Miguel was back in his patrol car with Elon Musk in the passenger seat. Not the back seat this time, the passenger seat, like they were equals. Like Miguel hadn't just made the biggest mistake of his life. Miguel started the car but didn't drive yet. His hands gripped the steering wheel. "I'm so sorry," he said quietly. "I'm so sorry. I didn't recognize you, and I thought you might be having a mental health crisis, or maybe you were on drugs. And I was just trying to do the right thing, but I completely messed up, and I understand if you want to sue me or get me fired or—" "Miguel," Elon's voice was gentle but cut through Miguel's panic. "Stop, take a breath." Miguel breathed, in and out, in and out. "You did exactly what you should have done," Elon continued. "A person with no ID, acting strange, driving illegally, you were protecting people. That's your job. If you had just waved me through without checking, that would have been bad police work. But I arrested you." "Yes, and if I had actually been someone dangerous, that arrest might have prevented something terrible. You couldn't have known who I was. I looked like a mess." He glanced down at his wrinkled shirt and stained jeans. "I mean, I am a mess right now." Miguel started driving. The streets were quiet now. Past 11 o'clock, most of Hawthorne was asleep. "Tell me more about Sophia," Elon said. The change of subject caught Miguel off guard. "What?" "Your sister, you said she loves space and science. What else does she love?" Miguel wasn't sure why they were talking about this, but he answered anyway. "She loves reading. Our apartment is small, so she doesn't have her own room, but she has a corner with a bookshelf. She's read every book about astronomy from our library 3 times. She knows all the planet's moons by heart. Can tell you facts about Saturn's rings or Jupiter's red spot for hours. Smart kid." "Very smart. Smarter than me, that's for sure." Miguel smiled a little despite everything. "She wants to go to college and study astrophysics. Wants to work for NASA someday, or maybe SpaceX." He realized what he just said and felt embarrassed. Here he was, talking to the actual founder of SpaceX about his sister's dreams. But Elon didn't seem bothered. What's stopping her? Money mostly. Her wheelchair costs money. Her medical equipment costs money. Her medications cost money. We're saving every penny for her needs now. College feels impossible. It's so far away and so expensive. What grade is she in? 6th, goes to Hawthorne Middle School. Does she have friends there? Miguel hesitated. Not really. Some kids are mean. They make fun of her wheelchair, call her names. She acts like it doesn't bother her, but I know it does. She comes home and goes straight to her corner and reads her space books. That's how she escapes." Elon was quiet for a long moment. They passed a 24-hour grocery store, its parking lot almost empty. "I was bullied as a kid," Elon said finally. "In South Africa. I was small, weird, obsessed with computers and rockets when other kids cared about sports. They beat me up pretty badly once, put me in the hospital." Miguel glanced over, surprised. He had never heard that story. "I found escape too," Elon continued. "In books, in science fiction, in dreams about the future. When the world around you is cruel, sometimes you have to create your own world inside your head, a better world. Then spend your life making that world real." They turned onto Jack Northrop Avenue. The SpaceX building grew larger ahead of them. Through its huge windows, Miguel could see people still working. Engineers at computers, technicians examining equipment. Even this late at night, they were building the future. "My mom works so hard," Miguel said. He didn't know why he was telling Elon all this, but the words kept coming. "She cleans houses for rich people in Manhattan Beach, beautiful houses right on the ocean. Houses bigger than our whole apartment building. She scrubs their toilets and mops their floors and washes their windows. Her knees hurt all the time from kneeling. Her back hurts from reaching and bending." "Why did you become a cop instead of something else?" "The benefits, health insurance mainly. Sophia's cerebral palsy means lots of doctor visits, physical therapy, medications. My mom's job doesn't have insurance. When I was looking at careers, I realized that a steady government job with good benefits was the smartest choice. I thought about being a firefighter or a teacher, but police work paid better and had faster hiring. So you chose this to help your family? Yes. That's the most important reason to choose any job. Not money or fame or status, but to help the people you love. They pulled into the SpaceX parking lot. The enormous building loomed above them, full of light and activity. A Falcon 9 rocket stood in the testing area, looking like something from a science fiction movie. Miguel put the car in park. Elon opened his door, then paused. He turned back to Miguel. Tomorrow is Thursday, right? Yes. What time is your shift over? I work until 6 in the morning, then I'm off until Friday night. So Thursday afternoon you're free. Miguel nodded slowly, not sure where this was going. Bring your family here at 2 o'clock, your mom and Sophia. Tell the guard at the gate that Elon Musk invited you personally. He'll let you in. What, why? Elon smiled, a real smile that made him look younger and less tired. Because Sophia should see where rockets are built, and because you're a good cop who made a good arrest, even if it was embarrassing for both of us. See you tomorrow, Miguel. He got out and walked toward the building. Before going inside, he turned and waved. Miguel sat in his patrol car, confused and overwhelmed. What had just happened? Was Elon Musk really inviting his family to SpaceX? Or was this some kind of polite brush-off that rich people do? They say nice things but don't really mean them. Miguel's radio crackled. Unit 7 Adam 12, what's your status? He picked up the radio. Dropped off Mr. Musk at SpaceX, heading back to patrol. Copy that. Captain wants to see you when you come in. Great. Miguel was probably going to get yelled at for the next hour about proper identification procedures and recognizing famous people. But as he drove back through the quiet streets of Hawthorne, he couldn't stop thinking about Elon's last words. See you tomorrow. Did he really mean it? Miguel didn't sleep much that night. After his shift ended at 6 in the morning, he drove home to the small apartment he shared with his mom and Sophia. The sun was just coming up, painting the sky pink and orange. Usually after a night shift, Miguel fell asleep immediately, but not today. He kept replaying everything in his mind: the traffic stop, the arrest, the handcuffs clicking shut, Officer Chen's shocked face, Captain Walsh's anger, and Elon's calm voice, see you tomorrow. At noon, Miguel finally gave up on sleep. He got out of bed and walked to the kitchen. His mom was making lunch: rice and beans with chicken. The apartment smelled wonderful. Mijo, you look terrible, Maria said. She spoke in Spanish like she always did at home. Did something happen at work? Miguel hadn't told her yet. How do you explain that you arrested one of the richest men in the world? Mama, something crazy happened, he started. Sophia rolled into the kitchen in her wheelchair. She wore a t-shirt with planets on it, her favorite shirt. What's crazy? Miguel told them the whole story. His mom's eyes got bigger and bigger. Sophia's mouth fell open. You arrested Elon Musk, Sophia shrieked. The Elon Musk. I didn't know it was him. Oh my God, Miguel. Sophia was laughing and covering her face with her hands. That's the most embarrassing thing ever. I know. His mom looked worried. Are you going to lose your job? I don't think so. Captain Walsh was mad, but Elon, Mr. Musk, he said I did the right thing. He's not going to sue us. His mom twisted her cleaning rag in her hands. We don't have money for lawyers. No, Mama, he was actually really nice about it. Miguel hesitated. He invited us to visit SpaceX today at 2 o'clock. Sophia actually screamed. What? He probably didn't mean it, Miguel said quickly. Rich people say things like that to be polite. We shouldn't. Are you insane? Sophia wheeled closer, grabbing Miguel's arm. We have to go. We have to. This is SpaceX. Do you know how many people would kill for a chance to see inside that building? Sophia, he was just being nice. I arrested him. He's not really going to. Miguel Santos, if you don't take me to SpaceX today, I will never forgive you. Never. I will tell everyone at school that my brother had a chance to visit SpaceX and was too scared to go. Maria looked uncertain. We don't want to bother important people. Mama, please. Sophia's eyes were shining. I've dreamed about this my whole life, just seeing the building from outside, and now we might get to go inside. Miguel looked at his little sister's face. She was glowing with hope and excitement. How could he say no to that? Okay, he said. We'll go, but if the guard doesn't have our names, we leave immediately. No arguing. Sophia threw her arms around him. Thank you, thank you, thank you. At 1:45, they drove toward SpaceX. Miguel's mom wore her nicest dress, the blue one she saved for church. Sophia had changed shirts 3 times before settling on her Planet shirt again. Miguel wore jeans and a clean polo shirt. His stomach felt full of butterflies. No, not butterflies, bats. Big, anxious bats. What if this is a mistake? He said as they got close to the building. Then we go home, his mom said. But we have to try. The SpaceX building was even more impressive during the day. It was massive, bigger than Miguel remembered from last night. The parking lot held hundreds of cars. The sign out front showed the SpaceX logo, simple, clean, futuristic. Miguel pulled up to the guard shack. A security guard stepped out, a big man with a friendly face. Hi, Miguel said nervously. My name is Miguel Santos. Elon Musk said, he might have mentioned, probably not, but. The guard was already looking at his computer. He smiled. Miguel Santos, Maria Santos, and Sofia Santos. Party of 3. Yes, sir, you're on the list. Mr. Musk left specific instructions to bring you to Building C, Conference Room 7. Park in visitor spot number 12. Miguel's jaw dropped. He was actually on the list. Elon had meant it. Sophia squealed from the back seat. They parked and sat there for a moment, staring at the building. I can't believe this is real, Sophia whispered. A woman came out to meet them. She was young, maybe 30, with dark hair pulled back in a ponytail. She wore jeans and a SpaceX hoodie. Hi, I'm Jessica, one of the engineers here. Mr. Musk asked me to escort you inside. You must be Sophia. Sophia nodded, suddenly shy. I love your shirt, Jessica said. Did you know that Jupiter's great red spot is actually shrinking? It used to be big enough to fit 3 Earths inside, but now it's only about 1 Earth wide. Sophia's shyness disappeared instantly. I know, and scientists think it might disappear completely in 20 years, but they're not sure why it's shrinking. Jessica grinned. You know your stuff, come on, let's go inside. They entered through a side door. The hallway was white and clean with pictures of rockets on the walls. Photographs of launches, space capsules, astronauts. Sophia couldn't stop staring at everything. They passed a huge window that looked into a factory floor. Miguel stopped and gasped. The room beyond was enormous, bigger than a football field. Dozens of people in white coats worked on what looked like rocket parts. There were giant metal cylinders, computer stations, robotic arms moving equipment. The scale was incredible. That's where we assemble the Falcon 9 boosters, Jessica explained. Each one is about 15 stories tall when it's complete. We launch them, they come back down, we refurbish them and launch them again. Reusable rockets, that's what makes space travel cheaper. How many times can you reuse one? Sophia asked. Our record is 19 flights on a single booster. We think we can push it to 50 or more. They reached conference room 7. Jessica knocked once, then opened the door. Elon Musk stood inside, looking much better than last night. He'd showered and changed clothes. He wore a fresh t-shirt, this one said Nuke Mars. His hair was still messy, but in a more intentional way. Miguel, you came. He sounded genuinely happy. And you must be Maria and Sophia. He shook Maria's hand gently, then squatted down to be at eye level with Sophia in her wheelchair. Sophia, Miguel tells me you love space. Sophia nodded, too starstruck to speak. What's your favorite planet? Mars, Sophia said quietly. Mine too, why Mars? Because, Sophia found her voice, because it's the most like Earth, and because humans could actually live there someday. Not Venus, too hot, not Jupiter, it's just gas, not Mercury, too close to the sun, but Mars. Mars is possible. Elon's face lit up. Exactly, see, you get it. Most people think I'm crazy for focusing on Mars, but you understand. It's not about abandoning Earth. It's about giving humanity a backup plan, insurance against extinction. He stood up and gestured around. Want to see where we build the insurance policy? For the next 2 hours, Elon gave them a personal tour. A personal tour. Miguel couldn't believe it was happening. They saw the rocket factory floor up close. Elon explained how the engines worked, using simple words that Sophia could understand. He showed them the control room where engineers monitored test fires. He took them to a warehouse where an actual Dragon capsule sat, the kind that carried astronauts to the International Space Station. "You can touch it," Elon said. Sophia reached out with a shaking hand and touched the heat shield. "This was in space," she whispered. "This exact capsule orbited Earth 42 times," Elon confirmed. "It carried 4 astronauts safely up and back down." Everywhere they went, employees stopped and stared. Some took pictures. Everyone looked shocked to see their boss giving a personal tour to random visitors. But Elon didn't seem to care. He was completely focused on Sophia, answering her questions with the same seriousness he probably brought to board meetings. "How hot does it get during re-entry?" "About 1,650 degrees Celsius on the heat shield. That's hotter than lava." "How fast is the rocket going when it launches?" "The Falcon 9 reaches about 7-8 kilometers per second to get to orbit. That's roughly 17,500 miles per hour." "Have you ever been to space?" Elon smiled. "Not yet, but I plan to. Maybe in a few years, once we know the Starship system is completely safe." They ended up in a different conference room, Elon's office actually. It was less fancy than Miguel expected. There was a desk covered in papers, a whiteboard full of equations and models of rockets on shelves. "Sophia," Elon said, "I want to introduce you to someone." He made a phone call. 5 minutes later, a woman entered. She was Asian American, probably in her 40s, with kind eyes and a warm smile. She was in a wheelchair. "This is Dr. Janet Kim," Elon said. "She's one of our lead propulsion engineers. She designs the engines that make our rockets fly." Sophia's eyes went wide. Dr. Kim rolled closer. "Hi, Sophia. I heard you're interested in space." You design rocket engines," Sophia stammered. "I sure do. The Raptor engine that powers Starship. I led the team that designed its fuel injection system." "But you use a wheelchair." "Yeah, car accident when I was 28, broke my back in 3 places." Dr. Kim said it matter-of-factly without sadness. "I was already working here when it happened. Took me a year to recover and learn to adapt. But SpaceX made accommodations. Adjustable desks, ramps everywhere, modified equipment. Being in a wheelchair doesn't stop me from doing math or running simulations or solving problems." Sophia looked like she might cry. "I didn't know, I thought that you couldn't be an engineer because of your wheelchair." Dr. Kim's voice was gentle. "Listen, science and engineering are about what's in your brain, not what your body can do. Yeah, there are some jobs I can't do now. I can't climb around on the rocket itself during assembly, but I don't need to. My job is to think, to calculate, to innovate, and wheelchairs don't stop any of that." She pulled out her phone and showed Sophia pictures. Dr. Kim in the control room during a launch, Dr. Kim presenting at a conference, Dr. Kim celebrating with her team. "If you love space, don't let anyone tell you that you can't pursue it," Dr. Kim said. "Including yourself, got it?" Sophia nodded, tears running down her cheeks. Happy tears. Mario was crying too. Miguel felt his own eyes getting wet. They talked for another 30 minutes. Dr. Kim told Sophia about the college programs she should look into, the summer camps for kids interested in STEM, the resources available for students with disabilities. Finally, Elon walked them back to the entrance. The sun was getting lower in the sky. They'd been there for almost 3 hours. At the door, Elon handed Miguel an envelope. "Don't open this until you get home," he said. "What is it?" "Just a thank you for being a good cop and for having such a wonderful family." He shook hands with all 3 of them again, then watched as they walked to their car. In the car, Sophia couldn't stop talking. Words poured out of her in a rush, everything she'd seen, everything she'd learned, meeting Dr. Kim, touching the spacecraft. Miguel drove home in a daze. His mom kept saying "Gracias a Dios" over and over, thanking God. The envelope sat on the passenger seat. "Aren't you going to open it?" Sophia asked. "He said to wait until we get home." "Miguel, open it, I can't wait." Sophia, patience. But Miguel was curious too. What could be in the envelope? When they finally got home, all 3 of them sat at the kitchen table. Miguel picked up the envelope. His hands shook slightly. He opened it. Inside was a check. Miguel looked at the amount and stopped breathing. $150,000. Miguel stared at the check. The numbers didn't make sense. His brain couldn't process what his eyes were seeing. $150,000 made out to Maria Santos. Dios mío, his mother whispered. Her hand covered her mouth. Sofia leaned forward in her wheelchair. How much is it? Miguel couldn't speak. He just turned the check so Sofia could see. Sofia's scream was so loud that Mrs. Chen from next door banged on the wall. This can't be real, Miguel said. His voice sounded far away. This has to be a mistake. But there was more in the envelope. A letter handwritten on SpaceX letterhead. Miguel's hands shook as he unfolded it. Dear Miguel, Maria, and Sofia. Miguel, you did your job with integrity last night. You saw someone who looked suspicious and you took appropriate action. That's exactly what good police work looks like. Never apologize for doing the right thing even when it's uncomfortable. Maria, Miguel told me how hard you work to take care of your family. 3 houses a day on your knees scrubbing and cleaning. That's real work, hard work, the kind of work that keeps the world running. You should be proud. Sofia, you have a brilliant mind and a passion for space. Don't let anyone or anything stop you from chasing your dreams. The universe is waiting for people like you. The check is for Sofia's medical needs and education. Get that electric wheelchair. Get the telescope. Start a college fund. Whatever helps Sofia reach for the stars. I've also written a letter of recommendation for Miguel to apply to any law school in California. It's included in this envelope. Miguel, you mentioned wanting to help people and make things better. Lawyers can do that too. Aerospace law is a growing field. We need people who understand both justice and innovation. Sofia, check your email. I've sent you something special. The future belongs to people who dare to dream impossible things and then work to make them real. Your family understands that. Keep reaching for Mars, Elon Musk. Miguel found the second letter, a formal recommendation letter on thick, expensive paper. It was addressed to whom it may concern and talked about Miguel's character, his judgment, his commitment to his community. A letter of recommendation from Elon Musk for law school. Maria was sobbing now, deep body-shaking sobs. Sofia wheeled over and grabbed her mother's hand. Mama, don't cry, Sofia said, but she was crying too. These are happy tears, Mija, Maria said in Spanish. Happy tears. God is so good, so good. Miguel felt numb. This didn't happen in real life. People didn't just give away $150,000. Billionaires didn't write college recommendations for rookie cops who arrested them by mistake. Sofia, check your email, Miguel said. Sofia wheeled quickly to the corner where their old laptop sat on a small desk. She opened it. The screen flickered twice before coming on. She logged into her email. Oh my God, she whispered. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Miguel and Maria rushed over. The email had the SpaceX logo at the top. Dear Sofia, welcome to the SpaceX Youth Scholars Program. This is a special opportunity for students in grades 6-12 who are passionate about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. As a scholar, you will attend monthly workshops at SpaceX headquarters, meet with engineers and scientists, participate in hands-on projects, receive mentorship from SpaceX employees, get access to special events, including rocket launches. Your first workshop is next Saturday at 10 a.m. Dr. Janet Kim has personally requested to be your mentor. Also, a package is being delivered to your home tomorrow. Consider it a welcome gift. We're excited to have you in the program. Best regards, the SpaceX education team. Sofia turned to look at her family. Tears streamed down her face. Is this real? Please tell me this is real. Miguel knelt down beside her wheelchair. He took her hands in his. It's real, Hermanita, it's all real. Sofia threw her arms around Miguel's neck and sobbed into his shoulder. Not sad crying, pure, overwhelming joy crying. Maria joined the hug, wrapping her arms around both her children. The three of them stayed like that for a long time, holding each other, crying together. Finally, they separated. Maria wiped her eyes with her apron. We need to cash this check, she said practically, even though her voice still shook. Tomorrow, first thing. Put it in the bank before something happens to it. What should we do first? Sofia asked. The wheelchair, the telescope. The wheelchair, Maria said firmly. You need that every day. Then we save most of the money for your future, for college, for medical needs. We be smart with this blessing. That night, none of them could sleep. They sat in the living room talking, making plans, crying some more, laughing. Miguel kept reading the letter of recommendation. It was incredible, detailed, specific, powerful. Elon had written about Miguel's instinctive understanding of justice and his commitment to protecting his community while respecting individual dignity. "Are you going to apply to law school?" Sophia asked. I don't know, I just started being a cop. I can't just quit." "Why not? If you want to be a lawyer, be a lawyer." "Law school is expensive, Sophia, even with a scholarship." "Miguel," his mother's voice was firm. "All our lives we've made decisions based on what we can't afford. For once, just once, let's make decisions based on what we want, what we dream. If you want to be a lawyer, apply. If you get in, we'll figure it out." Miguel looked at his mom. She'd spent her whole life cleaning other people's houses. She'd never complained, never asked for anything. And now she was telling him to reach for something bigger. "Okay," he said. "Okay, I'll apply. UCLA has a good law program, and they have courses in aerospace law, law for space companies, satellite regulations, that kind of thing." "You could work for SpaceX someday," Sophia said, grinning. "Let's not get ahead of ourselves." But Miguel was already imagining it, being a lawyer who specialized in space law, helping companies like SpaceX navigate regulations, making sure the rules protected people while still allowing innovation. The next morning, Friday, Miguel had to work the night shift again, but before his shift, the family went to the bank. The teller's eyes went wide when she saw the check amount. She called her manager over. The manager looked at the check, looked at Maria, looked at the check again. "This is real?" The manager asked. "Yes," Miguel said. "I arrested Elon Musk by mistake and he was nice about it." The manager blinked. "You what?" "Long story." They deposited the check. The manager said it would take a few days to clear. Checks that large had to be verified, but it was real. It was happening. After the bank, they went to a medical supply store. The owner showed them different wheelchair models. There was an electric one, sleek, fast, with good battery life. It cost $8,000. Before, that price would have been impossible, a fantasy, but now, "We'll take it," Maria said. Sophia test drove it around the store. She was laughing, spinning in circles, racing down the aisles. She looked so happy, so free. The owner said it would take a week to do the custom fitting and adjustments. Sophia would have her new wheelchair by next Friday. Next, they went to a telescope store. Miguel had never been in one before. The store was small and packed with equipment, telescopes of every size, star charts, books about astronomy. The owner, an older man with a white beard, helped them choose. He recommended a model that was perfect for beginners but powerful enough for serious observation. It came with a computerized mount that could automatically find planets and stars. It cost $2,200. They bought it. They actually bought it. The owner promised to deliver it that afternoon and help them set it up. By the time Miguel left for work that evening, the telescope stood on their tiny balcony. Sophia had already been using it for an hour, even though it was still daylight. She'd read the entire instruction manual cover to cover. "Miguel," she called as he was heading out the door. "Tonight when you get home, I'll show you Saturn, the rings. We'll be able to see the rings." Miguel smiled. "I can't wait, Hermanita." His shift that night felt different. He drove the same streets, responded to the same kinds of calls. A noise complaint, a fender bender, a shoplifting report. Normal police work. But he felt different inside. Lighter somehow. Like a weight he'd been carrying for years had been lifted. Officer Chen worked the same shift. During their dinner break at a 24-hour diner, she couldn't stop asking questions. "So Elon Musk really gave your family $150,000? "Yes." "And wrote you a letter of recommendation?" "Yes." "For arresting him?" "I think it's more complicated than that. I think he saw something in our family, our struggles, our dreams, and he decided to help." Linda shook her head in amazement. "I've been a cop for 15 years. I've met movie stars, politicians, sports players. Never had anything like this happen." "It doesn't feel real yet," Miguel admitted. "I keep thinking I'm going to wake up and it'll all be a dream." "It's not a dream, Santos. You got lucky. Really, really lucky." But was it just luck? Miguel thought about that traffic stop. If he'd been less observant, he would have missed the expired tags. If he'd been less thorough, he would have let Elon go without checking his ID. If he'd been less professional, he might have treated the arrest differently. His training officer always said, "Do every job right, even the small stuff, because you never know when it matters." Miguel had done his job right, and it changed everything. The weekend passed in a blur. Saturday morning, a delivery truck arrived with a huge box addressed to Sofia. Inside was the telescope Elon had mentioned, but not just any telescope. This was a professional-grade model, the kind that serious astronomers used. It came with a motorized mount, a laptop computer programmed with astronomy software, a camera for astrophotography, and a year's subscription to Telescope.com's premium features. The equipment alone was worth over $15,000. Sofia cried. Again. Miguel was starting to think his little sister had an endless supply of tears. That afternoon, they set up both telescopes on the balcony, the one they'd bought and the professional one from Elon. Sofia spent hours learning how to use all the features. Saturday night, when the stars came out, Sofia discovered her first deep sky object, the Andromeda Galaxy. She took a photo with the camera attachment. The image showed a glowing spiral of billions of stars, 25 million light-years away. She printed the photo and hung it on her wall. Sunday, Maria took the day off from cleaning houses, first day off in months. They went to church together, something they hadn't done as a family in a long time because someone was always working. Father Rodriguez welcomed them warmly. During prayer time, Maria stood up and told the whole congregation about the miracle that had happened to their family. People clapped, some cried, everyone wanted to hear the story. After church, they went out for lunch, a real restaurant, not fast food. They ordered whatever they wanted without checking prices first. It was such a small thing eating lunch at a restaurant, but for the Santos family, it felt like luxury. Monday morning, the package from SpaceX arrived. Inside was a welcome kit for Sofia, a SpaceX hoodie in her size, a notebook with the Mars logo, a set of engineering pens, a book called The Future of Space Exploration, and a personalized name badge that said Sofia Santos, SpaceX Youth Scholar. Sofia put on the hoodie immediately, refused to take it off for 3 days. Tuesday, Miguel had another night shift. He was driving through a quiet neighborhood around 2 a.m. when he saw someone sitting on a curb outside a closed coffee shop. Miguel pulled over. "You okay, sir?" The man looked up. He was young, maybe 25, and looked exhausted. His car was parked nearby with a flat tire. "Flat tire," the man said, "and my phone is dead, so I can't call anyone. I've been sitting here for an hour." Miguel could have just called a tow truck and driven away. That would have been enough. But instead, he opened his trunk and got out his jack and spare tire iron. "Let me help you change it." It took 20 minutes. The man was grateful, kept thanking Miguel over and over. "You didn't have to do this," the man said. "I know," Miguel replied, "but helping people is the job. Not just enforcing laws, actually helping." As Miguel drove away, he thought about Elon's words. "You did your job with integrity." Integrity wasn't just about following rules. It was about treating every person with respect and dignity. Every traffic stop, every call, every interaction, they all mattered. You never knew when one moment of doing the right thing might change everything. The following Saturday morning arrived bright and clear. Sofia woke up at 6 o'clock, 3 hours before they needed to leave for SpaceX. Miguel, wake up." She was shaking his shoulder. Miguel groaned and opened one eye. "Sofia, it's 6 in the morning. Your workshop doesn't start until 10. "I know, but I need to get ready. What if I'm late? What if I say something stupid? What if the other kids are way smarter than me?" Miguel sat up and looked at his little sister. She was already dressed in her SpaceX hoodie and her nicest jeans. Her hair was brushed and pulled back in a ponytail, but her face showed pure anxiety. "Sofia, breathe. You're going to be amazing." "What if Dr. Kim doesn't like me? What if she realizes I'm not actually that smart?" "Dr. Kim already likes you, and you are that smart. You know more about space than anyone I've ever met." Sofia twisted her hands together. "I'm scared, Miguel." He got out of bed and knelt beside her wheelchair. "Being scared is okay. Being scared means you care about something. That's good. But don't let fear stop you from doing something incredible." She took a deep breath. Okay, you're right." Now let me sleep for 1 more hour, please." "Fine, but only 1 hour." At 9:15, they pulled into the SpaceX parking lot. This time, Miguel wasn't nervous. The guard waved them through with a big smile. "Miss Sophia, welcome back. Your workshop is in Building D, room 205. You can't miss it, just follow the signs that say Youth Scholars." They parked and headed inside. The hallway had colorful posters showing rockets, planets, and astronauts. Sophia rolled along quietly, her eyes taking in everything. They found room 205. Through the door's window, Miguel could see about 15 other kids inside, boys and girls of different ages, different backgrounds. Some were in wheelchairs like Sophia. One boy had a prosthetic leg. Another girl had thick glasses and a hearing aid. Dr. Kim was at the front of the room setting up a presentation. Miguel opened the door. Dr. Kim looked up and smiled warmly. "Sophia, you made it. Come in, come in." Sophia rolled inside, suddenly shy again. Miguel and Maria stayed in the doorway. "Parents can stay for the first few minutes," Dr. Kim said. "Then we'll ask you to come back at noon when we break for lunch." They found seats in the back. Sophia positioned herself in the middle of the group, next to a girl about her age who also used a wheelchair. "Good morning, everyone," Dr. Kim said enthusiastically. "Welcome to the first meeting of the SpaceX Youth Scholars Program. My name is Dr. Janet Kim, and I'm a propulsion engineer here at SpaceX. That means I help design the engines that make our rockets go whoosh." She made an explosion gesture with her hands. The kids laughed. "Now I want to start by telling you something important. Each one of you is here because you have a brain that loves to solve problems. You're curious, you ask questions, you dream big dreams, and that is what makes a great engineer or scientist. Not how fast you can run or how strong you are or whether you need glasses or a wheelchair or any kind of assistance. What matters is what's up here." She tapped her head. Sophia was leaning forward, completely focused. "Today, we're going to talk about a real problem that SpaceX engineers are working on right now, and you're going to help us solve it." She clicked a button and an image appeared on the screen, a spacecraft coming through Earth's atmosphere surrounded by flames. This is what happens during re-entry. When a spacecraft comes back from orbit, it's moving really, really fast, about 17,500 miles per hour. When it hits the atmosphere, all that speed creates friction, and friction creates heat. Lots and lots of heat. Another click. The image showed a close-up of heat shield tiles. These tiles protect the spacecraft from burning up, but here's our problem. Sometimes these tiles crack or break off. When that happens, the spacecraft could be damaged. So we need to design better tiles that can handle extreme heat without cracking. She looked around the room. "And today, you're going to help us brainstorm ideas, because sometimes the best solutions come from people who think differently, people who see problems in new ways." For the next hour, Dr. Kim led the group through the basics of heat shields, materials science, thermal dynamics, stress, and pressure. She explained everything in simple terms that the kids could understand. Then she broke them into small groups to brainstorm solutions. Sophia's group included the girl in the wheelchair next to her, Jasmine, who was 12, and two boys, Marcus and David, both 13. "Okay," Jasmine said, "what if we made the tiles out of multiple layers instead of one solid piece, like a sandwich?" "Ooh, yes," Sophia's eyes lit up. "Each layer could have different properties. The outside layer handles heat, the middle layer provides strength, the inside layer protects against cracks spreading," Marcus finished. They worked together, drawing diagrams, asking questions, building on each other's ideas. Miguel watched from the back of the room, amazed. His little sister, who was sometimes too shy to talk to kids at school, was collaborating, sharing ideas, belonging. Maria was crying again. Happy tears, always happy tears now. At noon, Dr. Kim called everyone back together. Each group presented their ideas. Some were simple, some were complicated, but Dr. Kim took every single one seriously. She asked questions, made suggestions, praised creative thinking. When Sophia's group presented their multi-layer tile concept, Dr. Kim's eyes widened. "That's actually really interesting. We've explored laminated structures before, but not with this specific combination of materials. I'm going to share this with our materials team." Sophia, Jasmine, Marcus, David, you might have just contributed to real SpaceX research. The four kids high-fived each other, grinning. After the presentations, Dr. Kim gathered everyone in a circle. Today, you all thought like engineers. You identified a problem, analyzed it, and proposed solutions. That's exactly what we do here at SpaceX every single day. And I want you to remember something. You belong in this world, the world of science and engineering and space exploration. You belong here just as much as anyone else. Don't let anyone, including that voice in your own head, tell you that you can't do this, because you can, and you will. The workshop ended with a tour of the rocket assembly area. The kids got to see a Falcon 9 booster up close, ask questions to the engineers working there, and even touch some of the equipment. At one point, Elon Musk walked through the facility. He was with several other executives, clearly in the middle of something important. But when he saw the youth scholars group, he stopped. "Dr. Kim, how's the workshop going?" "Wonderfully. These kids just helped us brainstorm heat shield solutions." Elon walked over to the group. His eyes found Sophia. "Hey, Sophia, how's the telescope working out?" Sophia's face turned bright red. "It's amazing. I've already photographed Andromeda, the Orion Nebula, and Jupiter. Last night I saw Europa, that's one of Jupiter's moons, and I could actually see the ice cracks on its surface." "That's awesome. Europa's fascinating. Probably has a liquid ocean under all that ice. Could be life there." He addressed the whole group. "You know what's cool about all of you being here? In 20 or 30 years, some of you might be the engineers who design the spaceship that actually goes to Europa, or Mars, or beyond. The future of space exploration is standing in this room right now." He talked with them for a few more minutes, answering questions, encouraging them. Then his assistant reminded him about his meeting and he had to go. As he walked away, he turned back. "Sophia, don't forget, you have a standing invitation to watch our next launch from the control room. I'll make sure Dr. Kim has the details." Sophia couldn't speak. She just nodded, eyes wide. When they got back to their apartment that afternoon, Sophia was buzzing with energy. She talked nonstop about everything she'd learned, everyone she'd met, all the ideas they discussed. "Mama, can we get some poster board? I want to make a diagram of our multi-layer heat shield design. And some modeling clay. I want to build a 3D model to show how it works." Maria laughed. "Yes, Mija, we can get those things." That evening, while Sophia worked on her project at the kitchen table, Miguel's phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello. Miguel Santos." "Yes. This is Dean Patricia Chen from UCLA School of Law. I'm calling about your application." Miguel's heart stopped. He had submitted his application to UCLA Law School just 3 days ago, using Elon's letter of recommendation. He didn't expect to hear back for months. "Oh, hello, Dean Chen. I've reviewed your application, and I have to say, that letter of recommendation from Mr. Musk is quite extraordinary. He speaks very highly of your character and judgment." "Thank you. I'd like to invite you to come in for an interview next week. We have a special program for applicants with unique backgrounds, police officers, military veterans, people with significant life experience. Your combination of law enforcement experience and interest in aerospace law is particularly interesting." Miguel felt dizzy. "An interview already?" "Yes, would Tuesday at 2 o'clock work for you?" Yes, that works." "Excellent, I'm emailing you the details now. Looking forward to meeting you, Miguel." She hung up. Miguel stared at his phone. "What happened?" Maria asked, looking up from where she was helping Sophia with her project. "I have an interview at UCLA for law school." Sophia screamed, her new favorite way of expressing excitement. "Miguel, that's amazing." But Miguel felt panic rising in his chest. "I'm not ready for this. I barely finished college. My grades were okay, not great. I don't know anything about being a lawyer. What am I doing?" Maria set down the clay she was holding and walked over to Miguel. She put both hands on his shoulders and looked him straight in the eyes. "Mijo, listen to me. All your life you've doubted yourself. You barely passed the police academy, but you did pass. You were nervous about being a cop, but you're doing it. You thought you couldn't afford to help us, but now you can. You keep thinking you're not good enough, but everyone else can see what you can't see, that you are good enough. You are smart enough. You are worthy." Tears filled Miguel's eyes. "But what if I fail?" "Then you fail. So what? At least you tried. At least you reached for something bigger instead of staying small because you were scared. Sophia rolled over and grabbed Miguel's hand. Miguel, you arrested Elon Musk because you were doing your job right. You didn't let fear stop you then. Don't let it stop you now. Miguel laughed through his tears. When did my little sister get so wise? I was always wise, you just never noticed. Tuesday came quickly. Miguel put on his only suit, the same one he'd worn to his police academy graduation. It was a little tight in the shoulders now, but it would have to do. He drove to UCLA's campus, which was huge and intimidating. Students walked everywhere with backpacks and laptops, looking confident and smart. Miguel felt out of place. The law school building was modern and impressive. Miguel found Dean Chen's office on the third floor. She was a small woman, maybe 50 years old, with short gray hair and kind eyes behind stylish glasses. Miguel, come in, sit down. Her office was filled with law books and framed degrees. On her desk was a photo of her with her family, husband, 2 grown children, a dog. So, she said, folding her hands on her desk, tell me why you want to be a lawyer. Miguel had practiced this answer in his head 100 times, but sitting here in this moment, all his rehearsed words disappeared. Instead, he told the truth. I want to be a lawyer because I've seen what happens when people don't have anyone to fight for them. I grew up poor. My mom cleans houses. My sister has cerebral palsy and we struggled to get her the care she needed. I became a cop because I wanted to help people, to protect them, but being a cop, you can only do so much. You respond to problems after they happen. Lawyers can prevent problems. They can change systems. They can fight for people who can't fight for themselves. He took a breath. And aerospace law specifically. I've learned that space exploration isn't just about rockets. It's about regulations, international treaties, property rights, safety standards. As space becomes more accessible, we need lawyers who understand both the technology and the law. People who can help companies innovate while making sure everyone is protected. Dean Chen was nodding slowly. That's a very mature perspective. Tell me about this letter from Elon Musk. Miguel told her the whole story. The traffic stop, the arrest, the handcuffs, the embarrassment, the unexpected generosity. Dean Chen listened without interrupting. When Miguel finished, she was quiet for a moment. You know what impresses me most about that story, she finally said. Not that you arrested someone famous, but that you treated him with respect even when you thought he was just a confused person with no ID. You did your job correctly, but you also did it humanely. That's what makes a good lawyer. Understanding that rules exist to protect people, not to hurt them. She pulled out a folder. I'm going to be honest with you, Miguel. Your undergraduate GPA is not impressive. Your LSAT score is decent but not outstanding. On paper, you're not our typical admit. Miguel's heart sank. However, she continued, you have something our typical admits don't have. You have real-world experience. You understand justice not as an abstract concept, but as something that affects real people's lives. You've worked with communities. You've made difficult decisions under pressure. And you have a clear vision of what you want to do with a law degree. She closed the folder. I want to offer you a spot in our incoming class. Pending your LSAT scores remaining above our minimum threshold, you're in. Miguel couldn't breathe. I'm in. You're in. We also have a scholarship program for students with law enforcement backgrounds. It would cover about 60% of your tuition. You'd still need to cover the rest through loans, work study, or other means, but it makes law school much more affordable. Thank you so much. Don't thank me yet. Law school is hard, Miguel, really hard, especially the first year. You'll be working harder than you've ever worked in your life. Are you ready for that? Miguel thought about his mom scrubbing floors until her knees ached. He thought about Sophia facing every day with cerebral palsy and never complaining. He thought about doing the right thing even when it's difficult. Yes, he said firmly. I'm ready. Dean Chen smiled. Good. Welcome to UCLA School of Law, Miguel. When Miguel got home that afternoon, he was floating on air. He burst through the apartment door and both his mom and Sophia knew immediately from his face. You got in, Sophia shrieked. I got in. I'm going to be a lawyer. They celebrated that night with takeout from Sophia's favorite Mexican restaurant. As they ate tacos and rice and beans, Miguel kept thinking about how different their life was now compared to just 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, they were struggling to pay bills. Now, Sophia had a new wheelchair, 2 telescopes, and a spot in the SpaceX Youth Scholars Program. Miguel was going to law school. They had money in the bank for emergencies and Sophia's future, all because of one traffic stop. "You know what's funny," Miguel said. "I was so embarrassed when I arrested Elon. I thought I'd ruined my life. Turns out that moment changed everything." "Not the moment," his mother said wisely. "Your character changed everything. The moment just revealed what was already there." Sophia held up her glass of water. A toast to Miguel, future lawyer, to Mama, who works harder than anyone, and to Elon Musk for being nice when Miguel arrested him. They clinked their glasses together, laughing. Later that night, Miguel went out on the balcony where Sophia's telescope stood. She was already there, looking through the eyepiece at something. "What are you looking at?" he asked. "Mars." Miguel looked through the telescope. There it was, a small reddish disk, far away but visible. "Someday," Sophia said softly, "humans will walk on that planet, maybe even live there, and I'm going to help make that happen." "I believe you," Miguel said, and he meant it. The September air was warm and comfortable. Above them, stars filled the dark sky, millions and millions of them, so many that you could never count them all. Each star was a sun, maybe with planets around it, maybe with life. The universe was so big, so full of possibilities. And down here on Earth, a rookie cop who had made an embarrassing mistake was getting a second chance. A girl in a wheelchair was dreaming of Mars. A tired mother was finally getting some rest. Small moments of kindness rippled outward in ways you could never predict. Miguel smiled up at the stars and thought about the future. It looked pretty good. 2 years passed. 2 years of change, growth, and hard work that transformed the Santos family in ways Miguel never imagined possible. Miguel graduated from the Police Academy training program at the top of his class, not rookie class, but the Advanced Investigations course. Captain Walsh personally recommended him for detective training, saying Miguel had the instincts and integrity we need in our investigators. But Miguel had made his choice. In August, he started at UCLA School of Law. Law school was brutal. Dean Chen hadn't been joking. The reading was endless, hundreds of pages every night. The professors used something called the Socratic method, where they asked rapid-fire questions and made you think on your feet. Miguel watched classmates who'd graduated from Harvard and Yale struggle and sometimes cry in the library. But Miguel had something they didn't: perspective. He'd worked real jobs. He'd dealt with real problems. When professors discussed abstract legal theories, Miguel connected them to actual people he'd met on patrol. Crime victims, suspects, families in crisis. His study group included 2 other students with real-world experience: Jamal, a former Marine, and Patricia, who'd been a social worker. They met 3 times a week, helping each other survive the crushing workload. Miguel still worked part-time for Hawthorne PD, weekend shifts, special events, anything that fit around classes. The money helped. Even with his scholarship, law school was expensive, but they managed. The money Elon had given them, wisely invested with help from a financial advisor, continued to grow. Maria had quit cleaning houses. Instead, she'd started a small house cleaning business of her own, hiring other women from their church. She was the boss now, not the employee. Her hands were still rough, but her eyes were happier. Sophia had blossomed. She attended the SpaceX Youth Scholars Program every month without fail. Dr. Kim had become her mentor and friend. Sophia learned physics, engineering principles, computer programming. She participated in rocket design competitions. Last year, her team had won second place in a national youth engineering contest. Her new electric wheelchair gave her independence. She could go places on her own now, to the library, to friends' houses, around the neighborhood. The wheelchair had a USB port, so she mounted her laptop on it. She called it her mobile command center. But the biggest change was internal. Sophia had confidence now. She no longer shrank away when kids stared at her wheelchair. Instead, she'd roll right up and start conversations. "Yeah, I use a wheelchair. I also know more about orbital mechanics than you do. Want to hear about home and transfer orbits?" Most kids were fascinated. Sophia had become popular at school, the girl who met Elon Musk, who went to SpaceX, who could explain how rockets worked. She still used her telescopes every clear night. Her astrophotography had become impressive. She'd captured images of nebulae, galaxies, and planets that looked professional. She'd even submitted some photos to astronomy magazines. One had been published. On her wall, next to her photo of the Andromeda Galaxy, hung a new picture. Sophia standing braced with support between Dr. Kim and Elon Musk at a SpaceX launch event. All three were wearing headphones, watching a Falcon Heavy rocket climb into the sky. The photo captured pure joy on Sophia's face. That launch had been 6 months ago. Elon had kept his promise. Sophia got to watch from the control room. The entire family had been there. When the three boosters returned and landed simultaneously, 2 on land, 1 on a drone ship, Sophia had screamed so loud that several engineers had jumped. Elon had laughed. "That's the right reaction. That's exactly how I felt the first time we landed 1." After the launch, he'd taken them to dinner. Just a casual conversation at a restaurant. Elon, Miguel, Maria, and Sophia. They talked about Mars colonization, legal challenges in space law, Sophia's progress in the scholars program. Elon had asked Miguel about law school. "How's it going?" "Hard," Miguel admitted, "but good. I'm taking a seminar on space law next semester. Commercial spaceflight regulations, the Outer Space Treaty, property rights on celestial bodies." "That's the future right there," Elon had said. "We're going to need thousands of space lawyers in the coming decades. Someone has to figure out how laws work on Mars. If you start a business on Mars, what country's laws apply? If you're born on Mars, are you a Martian citizen or an Earth citizen? These aren't theoretical questions anymore. They're going to be real issues within our lifetime." Miguel had felt a thrill of excitement. He was studying something that mattered, something that would shape humanity's future. Now, 2 years after that embarrassing traffic stop, Miguel was halfway through law school. It was a Friday afternoon in September 2025, and he'd just finished his last class before the weekend, space law seminar with Professor Anderson. His phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "Hey Miguel, it's Elon. Are you free tomorrow morning? Something I want to show you and your family. Meet at SpaceX at 5 a.m. Trust me, it's worth waking up early." Miguel stared at the text. 5 a.m. on a Saturday, but this was Elon Musk. When he said something was worth it, you believed him. Miguel texted back, "We'll be there." That evening, he told his mom and Sophia about the mysterious invitation. 5 in the morning, Maria groaned. "That's so early." "It's Elon Musk, Mama. When he asks, we say yes." Sophia was already excited. Maybe they're testing a new rocket, or maybe, oh my God, maybe they're announcing the Mars mission date. "Sophia, calm down. We don't know what it is." But Miguel was curious too. The next morning, Miguel's alarm went off at 3:45 a.m. He'd barely slept, too anxious about what Elon wanted to show them. They arrived at SpaceX at exactly 5 a.m. The parking lot was surprisingly full for such an early hour. Engineers were everywhere, moving with purpose, carrying equipment. Elon met them at the entrance, wearing jeans and a SpaceX jacket. He looked tired but energized. That particular combination, Miguel had learned, meant Elon was working on something exciting. "You came. Perfect. Come with me." He led them through the facility, past the usual tour areas, into sections Miguel had never seen before. They walked down a long hallway to a security door. Elon pressed his badge against the reader. The door opened into a large room filled with monitors, computers, and people wearing headsets. It looked like mission control from NASA documentaries. "Welcome to our Starship launch control room," Elon said. "In about 90 minutes, we're doing a test flight of our newest Starship prototype. Ship 31. This is the most advanced iteration we've built, upgraded heat shield, improved engine performance, enhanced landing legs." Sophia's eyes went huge. "We're going to watch a Starship launch." "Better than watch. You're going to be in the control room when it happens. I cleared it with the launch director. You can sit in the observation area and hear all the communications." "Oh my God," Sophia whispered. "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." They were given headsets and seats in the back of the control room. Through the large windows, they could see the launch pad in the distance. Even from here, Starship was massive, a gleaming silver tower catching the first light of dawn. The room buzzed with controlled energy. Engineers called out system checks. Computer screens displayed data streams, fuel levels, pressure readings, weather conditions, trajectory calculations. Propulsion, go for launch. Guidance, go. Range safety, go. Weather is green. Miguel felt his heart pounding. This was real. This was actually happening. Dr. Kim entered the room and spotted Sophia. She came over with a big smile. Sophia, you made it. Exciting morning, right? This is the most amazing thing ever, Sophia said, her voice shaking with excitement. Just wait, it gets better. The countdown began, T-minus 10 minutes and counting. Elon moved around the room, checking in with different teams, asking questions, making suggestions. He was completely in his element, focused, intense, but also calm. This was what he lived for, T-minus 5 minutes. Maria gripped Miguel's hand tightly. She was nervous. Watching a controlled explosion, even from a distance, was scary. T-minus 1 minute. The room went quiet except for the voice of the launch director, calling out the final checks. 30 seconds. Miguel could see the starship on the monitors, cameras mounted at different angles showing every detail. 10, 9, 8. Sophia was leaning so far forward in her wheelchair that Miguel worried she might fall out. 3, 2, 1, ignition. The engines lit. Even from miles away, they could see the brilliant light, the massive plume of exhaust. The ground shook. Miguel could feel it through his feet. Liftoff, we have liftoff. Starship rose slowly at first, then faster and faster, climbing on a pillar of fire and sound. It was the most incredible thing Miguel had ever seen. Mach 1. Max Q. Stage separation in 3, 2, 1, separation confirmed. The booster separated from the ship, beginning its return to the launch pad. The ship continued climbing, its engines pushing it higher and higher. For the next 20 minutes, they watched the flight. Starship reached the edge of space, performed a series of maneuvers, then began its return to Earth. This was the dangerous part, re-entry. The moment when heat shields were tested for real. Entry burn initiated. On the monitors, they could see plasma forming around the ship, a glowing envelope of superheated air. The heat shield tiles glowed orange, then white. Telemetry is good. Heat shield performing as expected. Altitude 60 kilometers and descending. Landing burn in 30 seconds. The engines reignited, slowing the massive ship. It descended toward the landing pad, a controlled fall that looked impossible but was actually the result of millions of calculations. Contact, we have touchdown. The entire control room erupted in cheers and applause. Engineers hugged each other, high-fived, celebrated. They'd done it, another successful test flight, another step closer to Mars. Sophia was crying happy tears. Maria was shaking her head in amazement. Miguel felt overwhelmed by the magnitude of what they'd just witnessed. Elon walked over to them, grinning. So, what did you think? Miguel couldn't find words. That was incredible. That was humanity's future, Elon said. Every successful flight gets us closer. Closer to making life multiplanetary. Closer to Mars. Closer to ensuring our survival as a species. He looked at Sophia. Someday, maybe in 10 or 15 years, we're going to launch the first crewed mission to Mars. And when we do, I want people like you on that team. Engineers who understand the systems, who can solve problems, who can think creatively. You mean it? Sophia asked. I never say things I don't mean. Keep studying, keep learning, keep dreaming. Your generation is going to do things my generation can only imagine. After the celebration died down, Elon took them to his office. It was just as cluttered as Miguel remembered, papers everywhere, rocket models, engineering books. He handed Miguel a large envelope. What's this? Miguel asked. Open it. Inside were several documents. Miguel read the first one and felt his breath catch. It was a job offer from SpaceX position, legal intern, space policy and regulations department, duration, summer 2026 with possibility of extension, compensation, $8,500 month, focus, commercial spaceflight regulations, international space law, Mars settlement, legal frameworks. Miguel looked up at Elon, this is a job offer. For next summer, between your second and third year of law school, Most of our legal interns come from Harvard or Stanford, but I want someone who understands the real world. Someone who became a cop to help people, not to make money. Someone with integrity. I don't know what to say. Say yes. Come work with our legal team. Help us figure out the laws we'll need for Mars. Help us make sure space exploration benefits everyone, not just the wealthy. Help us do this right. Miguel felt tears in his eyes. Yes, absolutely yes. There was more in the envelope. Another document, this one addressed to Sophia. SpaceX Youth Scholar Achievement Award recipient. Sophia Santos recognition. Outstanding performance in engineering studies, exceptional dedication to aerospace education, and inspirational leadership among peers. Award. Full scholarship to California Institute of Technology, Caltech, pending admission, covering tuition, room, board, and expenses for 4 years of undergraduate study. Sophia read it 3 times. Then she looked up at Elon, unable to speak. You've got 6 more years before college, Elon said. But Dr. Kim and I agree you have what it takes to succeed at Caltech, one of the best engineering schools in the world. We want to make sure money isn't an obstacle. Study hard, keep your grades up, apply when you're ready. The scholarship is waiting for you. Sophia finally found her voice. Why are you doing all this for us? Elon sat down and looked at all 3 of them, Miguel, Maria, and Sophia. 2 years ago, Miguel arrested me. He was doing his job, protecting his community, following the rules. He treated me with respect even when he thought I was just some confused guy with no ID. That encounter reminded me of something important. He paused, choosing his words carefully. I get surrounded by yes men constantly, people who agree with everything I say, people who want money or jobs or favors, people who see me as Elon Musk, billionaire, instead of just a person. But Miguel saw me as a person, a tired person who needed help. And when we talked, he told me about his family, not to impress me, not to get something from me, but just because I asked. He was genuine. Elon looked at Sophia. And you, Sophia, your passion for space isn't about fame or money, it's real, pure. You love the science, the exploration, the dream of it. That's the kind of passion that makes great engineers. That's what I want working at SpaceX. He looked at Maria. And Maria, you raised 2 incredible kids while working 3 jobs. That's harder than building rockets. That takes a different kind of strength. Maria wiped her eyes. Thank you, she said softly. Thank you for seeing us, for helping us. I'm not helping you, Elon said. I'm investing in the future. Miguel is going to help shape space law. Sophia is going to help build spaceships. You're part of the team now, the team that's going to make humanity multiplanetary. They talked for another hour. Elon showed them the latest Mars colonization plans, detailed proposals for how they'd build habitats, generate power, grow food, create a self-sustaining civilization. The first mission will be unmanned, Elon explained. Cargo ships carrying supplies, equipment, fuel manufacturing equipment. Then if everything works, the first crewed mission, probably around 2035 or 2036. 12 people initially, engineers, scientists, doctors, builders. They'll spend 2 years on Mars before the return window opens. 2 years, Sophia said. That's a long time. Yeah, Mars and Earth only align properly every 26 months. So once you go, you're committed. You can't come home early if you get homesick. That's why we need the best people, people who are mentally tough, passionate, and smart. He glanced at Sophia with a meaningful look. In 20 years, when we're sending the 10th or 15th mission, maybe you'll be on one of those flights. Sophia's face glowed with hope and determination. I want that. I want that more than anything. The sun was fully up now, streaming through the office windows. Outside, engineers were already examining the starship that had just landed, checking for damage, gathering data. I should let you go, Elon said. You've been here for hours and I've got about 50 meetings today. But thank you for coming. Thank you for being part of this. They stood to leave. At the door, Miguel turned back. Elon, 2 years ago, I thought arresting you was the worst mistake of my life, but it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. Elon smiled. Not because you arrested me, because you're the kind of person who does the right thing even when it's uncomfortable. That's rare. Don't lose that. They drove home in a daze. Sophia couldn't stop talking about the launch, the job offer, the scholarship to Caltech. Maria kept saying prayers of thanks in Spanish. Miguel just smiled and drove, feeling like his life had turned into a dream he never wanted to wake up from. When they got home, Sophia immediately went to her laptop and started researching Caltech's engineering programs. Maria called her sister to share the incredible news. Miguel sat on the balcony with a cup of coffee looking out at the morning sky. His phone buzzed, a text from his study group. "Jamal, dude, where are you? We're supposed to study for Professor Anderson's exam." Miguel had completely forgotten. The space law exam was Monday. Miguel, sorry, got caught up in something. Be there in an hour. He finished his coffee and grabbed his backpack full of law books. As he was leaving, he stopped to look at Sophia, who was completely absorbed in her research about aerospace engineering programs. 2 years ago, she'd been a shy girl who hid in her corner with library books. Now she was confident, driven, heading toward an incredible future. 2 years ago, Miguel had been a nervous rookie cop who'd barely passed his exams. Now he was a law student with a summer internship at SpaceX. 2 years ago, Maria had been exhausted from cleaning other people's houses. Now she owned her own business, all because of one traffic stop, all because Miguel had chosen to do his job with integrity. "Miguel," Sophia called out, "when you're a space lawyer and I'm a rocket engineer, we should work together. You handle the legal stuff, I'll handle the engineering. We'll be the Santos space team." Miguel laughed. "Deal, the Santos space team, I like it." He headed out to meet his study group. As he drove through the streets of Hawthorne, he passed the spot where he'd first pulled over that beat-up Honda Civic, the place where everything changed. He smiled and kept driving. The future, his future, Sophia's future, humanity's future was waiting, and it looked really, really good. And that was the end of Miguel's incredible story, a simple traffic stop that transformed into a life-changing moment of connection, generosity, and hope. We'd love to know where you're listening from. Drop your city and country in the comments below. Let's see how far this story has reached around the world. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button. It really helps us share these meaningful tales with more people who need to hear them. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We bring you incredible true stories of kindness, second chances, and unexpected moments that restore your faith in humanity. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. Finally, share this video with your friends and family. In a world that can feel harsh and divided, stories like Miguel's remind us that one moment of doing the right thing, one act of genuine kindness, can create ripples that change everything. Let's spread more kindness and awareness together. Until next time, keep doing the right thing, even when it's hard. You never know whose life you might change.